What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Arknights, Season 3, Episode 4. So in this one, Rhode Island arrives at this one city that's been attacked by that's been hit by a catastrophe. Basically, it's been turned to a reunion base. What they're doing is they're trying to find survivors and get intel. So meteorite, Jessica and Frostly, they find that the temperature has dropped and there's a bunch of frost around, and they believe that the Yeti squadron has been around, which was rumored to defeated Ursus's infected patrol, a lot of times previously. Then they find Mephisto and W in the ruins. Mephisto and W attacks the recon team. Jessica calls Amia for help. And now Frostleaf, they want Amia to be safe. They don't want her to go there so that she doesn't get trapped. Then Amia and Chin, after some convincing on after Ami is able to convince Chin, they launch a joint operation between Rose Island and the Lungmen Guard Development to save the recon team. Then they, fight Reunion. Meteorite and Jessica are found, and so Amia helps Jessica recover. Frostleaf starts to question Amia, and Amia asks her to keep it a secret from Calcit. And then a lot of stuff happened. Rhode Island confronts Mephisto. Then Frost Nova arrives. And Frost Nova leaves the Yeti squadron. Basically, temperature starts dropping. Mephisto's flames just all go out from the frost. Frostleaf dies. To buy time for everyone to evacuate. And Meteorite uses explosions to help the team escape. Then Frostnova starts talking to someone and vows to find Rhodes Island. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a decent episode. Thought it was fine. Thought all the stuff was good. But yeah, dude, the fight was awesome. Then you had the whole fight between Amia and Patriot. That was awesome. But yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Tougen Anki, episode 3. So in this one, the demon catcher game starts, so everyone's like basically like trying to run from the instructor Naino Mutano. So Shiki, he's still trying to learn his Oni powers. He's part of Group 1 with Jin Kawasaki and Homer Bio Bugara. And basically, what happens is Shiki and Jin start fighting and using their techniques, and then Shiki, who's a little still newer to his Oni powers, Jin has more experience with his blood equips release technique. So Shiki's able to summon a gun with a blood gun with his arm, while Jin uses like some chainsaw thing. Then Homer, she seems to not as much control, so her power manifests as a blood giant. And basically she's not able to control it, seems like, so Jan and Shiki are both on the offensive. And yeah, so yeah, basically we see that fight, and then yeah, I thought this was a really good episode, and like the freaking school stuff was cool, and only the blood powers, the blood control. I'm actually really interested in this. And dude, the whole thing with whole mayor, just like
just apologized the whole time, being so nervous. It was kind of funny. Then, man, I thought that was so funny. That was so funny. Then, Shiki's great. So yeah, I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Happy Gilmore 2. So after winning his fourth championship, Happy Gilmore has like a successful golf career, wins 5 more gold jackets, and he marries Virginia Venna, the girlfriend from the first movie, and he has 5 kids. 4 sons, you know, named Gordy, Wayne, Bobby, and Terry, and a daughter named Vienna, who's played by Adam Sandler's real life daughter. And so now during his last golf game, um, during the drive, um, the ball like accidentally hits Virginia and kills her. And so that after that, Happy gives up golf, basically like swears to never play again. And like Virginia, who had been handling all the finances, with her being dead, Happy's not able to do it. So he loses his grandmother's house. Now his grandmother had already passed away. Loses grandmother's house. Basically, he loses all a bunch of money. And basically, he's like, he works at a grocery store making minimum wage. And his sons are like doing like various blue collar jobs. You know, they go to college. They go to college, or blue collar jobs. I don't know if they went to trade school, but they seem to be living life well. And Vienna is an inspiring, ballet dancer. Apparently, her teacher thinks she's good enough to go to some big school in Paris that costs 75,000 per year for 4 years, so total 300 grand. And I guess Happy's neighbor or whatever is John Daly. Yes, that John Daly, the famous golfer. So yeah, and John Daly's actually pretty funny. And so Happy, who had never really drunk in alcohol a lot, starts really getting heavy into drinking and causes problems. So that's probably why he lost everything, because he beat up a repo man thinking he was trying to steal his car. Now, if I saw some dude like trying to take my car and I didn't know why, I'd be a little pissed off too. And so, and now while he's working, he has like these secret alcohol flask. So like he has like a fake cucumber disguised as alcohol. Now while he's working, he's approached by Frank Manatee, the CEO of Maxi Energy Drink, who has a new league called Maxi Golf. Basically, it's like a giant putt-putt course with like regular sized golf, but it's like a putt-putt course. And like all the players have some ligament removed that allows them to drive farther to get to like Happy's level of driving. And then basically it's meant to be like, I guess, and it's only 7 holes. There's a shot clock. It's meant to like, I guess, be more hip with the Gen Z, with the younger people. So yeah. So Happy, who's ever been too much for tradition is like, this is stupid. No. Now also he doesn't want to play golf because what happened to his wife. And he gets annoyed by Manatee and throws him into a lobster tank. So in order to pay for that 300 grand, he knows he has to play golf, so he tries to get into golf again. So he does a practice round with these 3 Gen Z like posers. You know, starts off very rusty, but gets in the group and then he starts drinking, which causes him to crash, injure like one of the three players he's with, gets into legal problems. But the court agrees to drop all charges if Happy does like a alcohol treatment program and doesn't get into fights. Now, the leader treatment program turns out to be Hal L, who was the the caretaker of Happy's grandmother in that nursing home, like the really abusive caretaker. Now, Vienna John, basically Happy's family encourages Happy to take things seriously, to take part of the tour championship, which he does. And Happy meets a lot of his old friends, so he meets the president of the tour, Doug Thompson, and Happy recommends with Maxi Golf getting right popular. Happy recommends that they have a competition with the best five, the best of the regular golfers versus the best of the Maxi golfers. So the so at like the champions dinner where all the gold jacket winners are done, so you have like a lot of so you have like a lot of your new people like Sky Scheffler, Roy McIlroy, um Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, and then Keegan Bradley, Tony Fan. You see Ricky Fowler, Sergio Garcia. You see Xander Schauffele. You see a bunch of famous golfers, former and current. Real life. So like Bubba Watson's in it. Jack Nicklaus. Oh, there's a funny scene there with Jack Nicklaus where so he orders so this waiter who's played by Travis Kelsey. I don't know why they cast Travis Kelsey. There's no reason to. So Zach Nichols is half tea, half lemonade. And then the guy said, and the waiter's like, "Oh, so Arnold Palmer?" Nichols like, "No, no, no Nicholas. I get that a lot though." So it's meant to be a joke about the old rivalry between Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicholas, which golf fans will know about. Arguably the biggest rivalry in golf history. R.I.P. Arnold Palmer. So yeah, so in the basically in the tournament, Happy does starts doing very well. Like he's just wrecking it till like the last day, and so and then there. Basically all the old younger ones are like, what the heck? Then you have this other young golfer played by and basically played by him Haley Joel Osment, and then and Billy and this guy Billy Jenkins is also doing well. And there's a fight where the caddy that Happy had in the first week, who he choked, is a player who I guess he's still pissed about Happy choking him. And it's funny that guy ends up choking his own caddy. Happy's like, now he gets it. So Happy's caddy, which is a waiter, was fired by the Travis Kelsey uh, waiter. Yeah, so basically he's randomly he's actually pretty kind of funny. So him and he like helps out Happy. Happy does well until the last day, which is on Mother's Day. So Happy's reminded of his wife being dead. And he sees visions and he decides to get drunk. And also like with his grandmother being dead. So Happy just struggles. You can't deal with it. And he falls first all the way down to six. And Billy's revealed to be part of the Maxi League, so Happy by technicality makes the top five to go against the Maxi golfers. And then while having so Stuart McGavin's revealed to have been in like an insane asylum ever since he basically had a mental breakdown after losing to Happy in the '96 Tour Championship. Now, Manatee arranges a release for him, and he offers Shooter a spot on the team. Like McGavin, like hates how the rules work. He hates how the surgery done, and being a stickler for tradition. McGavin basically leaves. So Happy and McGavin come across each other at Virginia's grave, and they briefly get into a fight, and we see like some grave. We see Happy's grandmother's grave and some other characters like graves. There's some callbacks that's actually kind of funny. Then once they stop to get to Chubb's grave, and they call truce and see, I guess some old lady was buried while still alive, and they just leave. Yeah, so and Happy recruits Slim Pearson, who's Chubb's son, and Slim had forgiven Happy for what happened to his dad. So Slim and McGavin help, Happy in the team, which rest of the team, which is Roy McCord, Bison DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, and Sky Scheffler. Basically, McGavin and Slim help them all prepare. Now, then we get to like the actual tournament. So yeah, like one of the things that happens is so Scheffler punches a guy in a way very similar to how Happy got handled hockey fights, and that leads to Scheffler being like arrested. It's meant to be a reference to like I guess his arrest. You know, like I believe it was a year ago. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then basically the normal players will keep it 2-2 in a tie. With McGavin replacing Kepka after he gets injured, so giving McGavin some form of redemption. So then the final round is between Jenkins and Happy. So while they get to the green, Manatee tries to alter the green to make it impossible to putt. And so then he arranges their deal of bets if Happy misses the putt, Happy has to join Maxi Golf. But if Happy makes it, Manatee will shut down Maxi Golf, buy Happy's house back, pay for Vienna's ballet school, and open a new restaurant for his caddy, Oscar. Now with Oscar helping balance the putt, Happy sinks the putt, winning the game. Then in the aftermath, Happy celebrates his 3 months sobriety. Then Hal is arrested after being exposed by Aloysius Lieberman, who exposes Hal for being abusive, being a fraud, and all that. Then Maxi Air Drinks is discontinued because it's real to cause oral health issues. So Nancy's like missing, and then Happy drops his kids off at the airport to go to Paris. Promises to join them after he, you know, does the British Open. And when the plane takes off, he, realizes his car doesn't have any power, no battery, so he starts walking. And like the sons, like they're trying to be like singing mimes now, trying to separate themselves since mimes don't talk. They're going to separate themselves by singing. So yeah, I did not like this movie. The original is a classic comedy. This one has a few callbacks, but this is like Gen Z attempt at Happy Gilmore. It is very Gen Z. It's like, ooh, Y'all like Travis Kelsey? I mean, honestly, I think they put Travis Kelsey in because of Taylor Swift. I'm like, what the frick? I'm like, that is really the only reason Travis Kelsey is in this movie, I think, is because, oh, look, we know how all you Gen Z people like Taylor Swift. Oh, we're gonna put their boyfriend in here. See? And then all these random, like, these random cameos. It's so freaking retarded. Like, yeah. And then, you have Eminem showing, like, there's just such a stupid cameo. Vern Lundquist was funny, and, some of the announcers were funny, and there's, like, yeah, it's pretty stupid. And yeah, some announcers, Stephen A. Smith makes a cameo, basically play himself. And you have, like, all these different, like, podcast people watching it. I'm like, this is just Gen Z doing Happy Gilmore, and it work. And it work. It isn't. Happy Gilmore is a classic comedy. Like, it is like the original is a classic. This one sucks. It, you can't recreate Happy Gilmore. What would have been a better movie if you're gonna do something is have them be now, wow. So I think if they were gonna do a Happy Gilmore 2 with him being retired, coming back, it could have been something like, George Foreman's famous comeback in boxing where Foreman was long retired, came back to win money for, uh, a championship. And then, like, yeah, so, to fight, to help for charity, whatever. I can't remember exactly what that charity would, but, like, it feels like a George Foreman type comeback. That's what I think would have been the better Happy Gilmore story. And you can make it funny. Like, and, if you're going to bring a lot of really golfers, yeah, let me be honest, you should have had Tiger Woods at least appear. If you have all these golfers, you don't have Tiger Woods. Come on. But now that bit's a little nitpick. It's like, okay, get Tiger Woods. Probably get Phil Mickelson as well. Get those big names. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a bad movie. It wasn't really funny. The jokes don't stick as well as they did the original. And yeah, this is just Gen Z's Happy Gilmore, and that's not a good thing. Fantastic Four First Steps. So in this movie, this takes place on Earth 828, which is a reference to Jack Kirby's birthday of August 28th. Jack Kirby being, one of the early writers, one of the early artists at Marvel, like back when they were still known as Timely Comics, back in the golden age. So like, him and Joe Simon creating, Captain America, all that, and of course Kirby did a lot for Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, and then there's like, Kirby being arguably the greatest comic book artist ever. Anyway, so this takes place 4 years to the career of Fantastic Four. So see some of their origin where 4 years before they went into space, uh, they accidentally got hit with cosmic rays for given superpowers, and we see some of like their time. So basically, Mole Man attacks Sue Storm, arranges a peace deal between Mole Man, between like Subterranean and the rest of the world. Then every nation on the Earth, except Latveria, disarmed like their nuclear like armaments, all that. And like, they, basically like it's like there's not really militaries. You do still have police. It's a very retro type. It's like a Jetsons type setting. So you have like, the flying car. So basically like there's a kind of like it is kind of like a Jetsons type setting, I would say. The way it's portrayed, like if New York, basically to put New York in the Jetsons universe. So then, and also so then, Reed and Sue learn that Sue's pregnant. They tell Ben Johnny, everyone celebrates it. So now it's a boy named Franklin. Then a few months later, Silver. So Shallow Ball, who identifies as the Silver Surfer, um, arrives on Earth as a herald for Galactus. And, after tracking the Silver Surfer's energy source to, this one star system, Fantastic Four head to space to find Silver Surfer. With Sue arriving while pregnant. A little few problems with that. So they arrive at the planet, they see this planet getting destroyed, and they end up on Galactus' ship. And they Silver Surfer, so Shaw Ball leads them to Galactus. And Galactus looks awesome. Like he looks incredible. He offers that he basically knows that there's some power within Frank, and the baby Franklin, who's still not hasn't been born yet, and all the tests have not shown any like powers, that's probably due to the fact that Franklin Richards is a mutant. He's born with the powers. He wasn't given them by cosmic rays, so that might be why Reed can't detect it, because it's a different type of origin story. Because children of the superpowered people end up being mutants. Like, that's just how it works. Franklin Richards is a mutant. May Parker, Spider Girl, is a mutant. That's how it goes. So then, they're so Galactus offers spare Earth in exchange for Franklin because he senses a lot of power within him. And when they refuse, the Phoenix Force refuse, uh, Galactus does so to Sue and induces labor. So everyone escapes Fantastic Four, escape, Galactus, Silver Surfer, and they use a black hole to do it. And during the flight back, Sue gives birth to Franklin. And when they get back to Earth, everyone's shocked to learn that they did not defeat Galactus, and that they refused to give Franklin in exchange for saving her. So the world like just starts hating the Fantastic Four, who had been very popular. And after a while trying to find alternatives, Talks Public says that she won't sacrifice her son for the Earth, but she won't sacrifice the Earth for her son. So then Reed finds a way to. What the plan is to take Earth and push it somewhere else using teleportation technology. Yes, it is literally the SpongeBob meme. We're gonna take Earth. We're gonna push it somewhere else. I mean, let's say it's the Galactus Bullworm. So yeah, there's a whole bit of Johnny's being into you know, Shallow Ball, and he's like trying to translate her language. after learning what one phrase means. Now, there's some issues with that. And so Shalabal arrives and Johnny displays all the transmissions he's gained in their language. And he says that he learned her backstory and was somehow able to translate everything, which here's the issues with that. There is no reason from one phrase Johnny should be able to translate another alien language into English. Not even Reed Richards could do that without having enough references. Because what would be the better way to explain that would have been if it's like, let's say, how Artemis Fowl handled Gnomish. So in the Artemis Fowl novels, in the first book, explain that Gnomish text looks very similar to Egyptian hieroglyphics. So Artemis was able to translate Gnomish into English using Egyptian hieroglyphics. So he found like a similar language and was able to deduce how to arrange it, how to translate. If there was something like that with Silver Surfer's native language, that would have made sense. It's like, okay, if like within that world, if there's a you know obviously you have the whole alien astronaut theory that has been explored in the MCU. If you have some alien language being spoken on Earth, and there was this like similar language, ancient language that basically Fantastic Four used to translate into English, but that should have been explained. So yeah, that was dumb. I mean, so it was using Shaw Ball, not Norm Rad, or or like the female Nova. Yeah, Frankie Ray, who does date Johnny Storm in the comics, because although her powers come from the original Human Torch, Jim Hammond. Yeah, a spoiler. In the comics, Johnny Storm's not the original Human Torch. Uh, the original Human Torch is a robot. Now, fun fact: Johnny Storm is actually the reason Captain America was brought back, and the reason Namor was brought back, because they were both not used in the Silver Age until Fantastic Four got popular. So then they brought those two back because Cap, Namor, and Human Torch were the big three for timely. Anyway, that was a side note. Now, one thing about this, so Namor is heavily associated with Fantastic Four. If you're gonna have like Old Man have a peace deal, shouldn't Namor also appear? Just saying. Anyway, so the whole world builds all these teleportation devices to help transport Earth. But Silver Surfer wrecks it all, Giant plays all that, blah blah. Then after he's seen all those like messages and remind her pets, Silver Surfer just leaves. And it's revealed, so Shalabal leaves, and it's revealed that I guess she was a single mother on her planet, despair planet. She became Galactus' Herald, which is what Norn Rad did in the comics. I don't know if Norn Rad had kids. I do know that he to save his planet, he became Galactus' Herald. That's how a lot of heralds were. Yeah. So Galactus arrives, and what ends up happening? So there's one teleporter left. So what the plan is to use Franklin as bait to draw Galactus to Earth and teleport him to the end of the universe, separate him from his ship so that he's stranded. So Galactus arrives. Everyone, they're fighting Galactus. And so, things go wrong. Galactus notices the trap Angels is when Franklin's removed from the area, and then Sue Storm uses a giant force field to like solo push Galactus into the the trap, and he starts getting sucked to the portal. Then he starts getting back through, but then Johnny tries to knock him in order to force him in there. And after Sue had passed out and died, Shot Ball knocks him out, Johnny out of the way, and forces Galactus back into the portal, which I don't think she would be powerful enough to do. I don't even know if Norn Rad would be powerful enough to do that. So yeah, Galactus is very much depowered. So yeah, then there on Silverstone we see a 4-year time jump to Franklin's Ford. We see Doctor Doom talking to Franklin with his mask off. Now we don't see a face, we just see the hood. And he's holding his mask in his hand, which that's a problem because the mask should not be able to come off, and all his the mask should be melted onto him. So yeah, so here's my opinion as far as the story goes. It was okay. The pacing had some issues. I think if this was a TV show, I think the pacing would be a lot better. Now, here's some of the big now, and Vanessa, Vanessa Kirby was fine. Susan Storm, you know, the guy who played Johnny Storm was fine. The Thing was fine. I thought, except for the beard, I thought the beard was stupid. Then Reed Richard, Pedro Pascal's not a good caster for Reed Richards. He's not. Like, one of the things with Reed Richards, yes, are there times where he's monotone? Yes, but he also signs where he does show actual emotion. No, it actually shows presence. So you need someone who can do monotone and emotion well. Like, I think David Tennant would have been a good bit Reed Richards. I mean, David Tennant's kind of a lunatic, but I think he would have been a great Reed Richards. He kind of could pull off the look, would look more comic accurate. His work as the Doctor would really help, would actually apply to this because, someone who's very smart, can act monotone times, but also can show emotion and care. I think Tennant would have been a really good choice. And, Krasinski would have been a good choice as well. And Silver Surfer. So, yeah, Silver Surfer was not in this movie. It was Shaw Ball. They should have used Norn Rad because Norn Rad is the Silver Surfer. Case closed. And Galactus, I would like to see more of Galactus. Like, I mean, he's a multi-movie level villain because he's a very big villain. Been around since the beginning of the universe. Like, but the look, the design, the voice, for Galactus, all that was great. I was like, I think Galactus should have been more, and I think this was a TV show. They could build the world, establish the characters better. I think we would see more Galactus, and it probably could have been a decent TV show. Anyway, I really like the setting, like the 60s type design. I like that because I'm the opinion they should all be period pieces. Just, just due to when they were, a lot of these were created, like Golden Age with World War One, World War Two. You know, obviously you have your Cold War with like Silver Age and Bronze Age. So yeah, hmm, I'm gonna say with all the flaws, there's a lot. Like, yeah, with some of the casting issues, and like what we got, like the story wise, I think if it was a TV show, it could have been better. But I think with, Pedro Pascal and Shaw and being Reed Richards and then Shallow Ball being the quote unquote Silver Surfer. Yeah, I can't really recommend it. It's like I would say like 59% out of 100. So yeah, I can't really recommend it.
And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.